Wow. And, you know, it's really interesting because I've also with this, what we're talking about, the ethical implications and AI and the hype cycles that we may find ourselves in. I've been also feeling it myself that there's this very tense line between using AI for what you say, this unleashing of possibilities for the good, which are, solving our greatest problems, which would be giving water to everyone, resources to everyone, figuring out those equations that now seem really close to us. And at the other side of the equation, I've had John Vervaeke on the podcast too. He's been raising the alarm in terms of, these technologies are really gonna, like you say, they're gonna become beings. These are not just a computer. These are gonna become entities in and of themselves that pretty much the only comparison that we have, if they become what we're thinking of, they would be an alien, coming into the world, because it would be like it would be something greater than us. How would we relate to that? And that argument in itself brings me to this line that I was just mentioning, that, you're an expert in this field. You've immersed yourself in the emergence of these technologies. How do you see this line between unleashing its potential for the good, for opportunities, versus the unleashing of destruction of our humanity, the unleashing the destruction of, deep fakes, like you say, and perhaps reversing the role between my own identity? That's when I wanted to touch that with you, because what you said on Instagram, for example, when I post something and an AI interacts with me, then I receive that feedback, and my identity is being formed by not only an algorithm, but an entity of its own that's learning its own. So to cut it short, how do you see this tension between opportunity and destruction with AI?
I mean, this is where historical examples are helpful. I mean, I give a talk on innovation and risk. And it's like with any new technology or tool, whether that was like the printing press, democratizing access to originally like the Bible, but information, it was seen as, this tension, because it was taking power away from the centralized powers that be, in that case, the church, and then ultimately like governments, or, more the internet itself, democratizing access to information. One example I gave was fertilizer. So, after World War I, most of Europe was starving, and the gentleman who invented fertilizer, nitrogen, whatever it is, it's the same thing that was used, in World War II, for gas chambers and gases. So it's the tool itself, like, neither good nor evil. I don't see duality in this. I think with AI, it's an inevitability, because we've crossed a line where, I know in the US recently, there was this debate of like, do we put a 6-month pause on it, as if that would do anything? Maybe just to say, wow, this is moving fast. Let's take a step back. And I do think there needs to be discussion around regulation and governance. And this is from my blockchain Web3 decentralized world, is governance and experiments and governance are so important. And I really believe, I have no problem saying this out loud and recorded, that like any single company, corporation, or a nation state should own singular, like that power. I think that's what will happen. I think we're going to see a bunch of nation states, trying to reach quantum supremacy, as we already know, and like fighting. That's where I think this line, where we can see some darkness coming from it, this tension of it being used as a tool for further competition and further infighting, as opposed to using it as a tool to like collectively solve problems. That's going to happen with anything that is created, any like invention, but because of the power of not just this one technology, but all of them, I think it's important to really think about it and really have these conversations, or just support people who are using it in ways that are perhaps for the greater good. Again, like if we look at it as a way where we have these counterparts, these teammates, like not our minions doing our work for us, like how people are treating these entities now, but actually like see it as a new being that we coexist with, and perhaps this new being will be better at other things and worse at other things, and that humans have our role, which maybe allows us to get back to some of our more, sensory skills, or our feeling or our intuition, some of these things that were seen as soft skills and not necessary for the past 2,000 years, and leave the logic to the systems that are quite good at this, and, allow us to actually step in and, think about more equitable and sustainable ecosystems in our planet. It's really easy to get lost in these future discussions like, oh, AI, robots, but like we still need to think about our home. So, yeah.